Hi, my name is Neb Camus Zen Atumre, and this is the 9th video in this Black History series, Fall of Babylon. So yes, the Dajjal manifested from Arabia. The fake Orthodox Sunni Muslim religion, which is funded by the Saudi Arabian Wahhabi sect, is the Antichrist, the Dajjal, which the Prophet Muhammad said would rise out of Arabia. The Prophet Muhammad said this: 70,000 people from among my followers will follow the Dajjal. It is a great concern of the Prophet Muhammad during his life, because it would be 70,000 people from Umuhu, his nation, his followers, who would go to the Dajjal. Now look at the Egyptian government and its rebel Ikhwani Muslimin killing for them. Excuse me. Essentially what he was saying is that the beast was going to be there in Saudi Arabia as well. It came out of the Christian world, but his people, 70,000 of them, would also owe allegiance to it. What does this tell us? For one thing, it proves that the beast did not come out of Arabia in the sense that it originated there. If not, the Prophet Muhammad would not have said, would not have had to say that his people were going over to it. Well, over to it they did go. The word Dajjal comes from Dajjala, meaning he covered a thing. As a noun, it means a swindler, cheat, imposter, quack, charlatan, antichrist. As a verb, Dajjal means will deceive, dupe, cheat, take in, impose, and use trickery. Dajjal himself, if you make him an individual, would be equivalent to the beast. The devil himself is the master beast spoken in the Gospel of Revelation 13:1 that would come to the earth. In El's Holy Injil 13:1, it says, "And I, John, son of Zebedee, and Salome, stood upon the beach, and I recognized this beast-like creature representing the United States of America, having 7 heads: England, France, Russia, Germany, Spain, Italy, and the United States, and 10 horns for their 10 leaders, signifying the ruling and leadership of each country, being the symbol of Leviathan, which is mentioned in the Bible 5 times: Job 4:1, Psalms 74:14, Psalms 104:26, Isaiah 27:1, and Psalms 91:13. Leviathan is called piercing and crooked because he gets into the hearts and subconscious of the people and deceives them. Leviathan literally means spiritually bound. By definition, Leviathan is a monster, jointed monster, symbolized by any of the reptile family. Leviathan is referred to as the serpent, the dragon, a beast. This beast was ascending up out of the sea, representing the multitude of people living within the shores of the United States of America, and on its horn 10 crowns. Though as mighty as the beast may seem, it will be humbled by a mere stone. As David, son of Jesse and Hilma, slew the 7-foot tall giant Anaite, Goliath, son of Goliath and Firkin, who possessed 6 toes on each foot and a double row of teeth with a mere slingshot. The fact that the stone used to cut down the beast is described as a stone cut without hands. Daniel 2:34 connotates an uncut and unpolished stone or pebble. A polished stone is one that has been found in a mine like a raw diamond, then taken to a jeweler who finds its illustriousness and buffs it to splendor. Or as in the case with gold, which is found deep within the earth, it is melted down and shaped into form. The uncut refers to that in the raw, which has its own rough edges chipped off and result in a substance such as marble. The holy tabernacle ministries of the world today represents that little stone. We are unpolished and uncut because we are in the belly of the beast doing the work of El Elo, the Most High. The fact that we are able to accomplish so much with all the facts and the little jewels that are crammed within the scrolls in such a short time is a miracle in itself. The miracle of a little stone being the imminent destruction of a seemingly indestructible beast. But it is the very beast called America, the true Ansars, aiders of Allah, who are the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, are a product of. Here we are raw, uncut gems, but we have the luster of a pearl lying in the filth of the oyster. That's right. The filth of the world made us, just as the dirt of the sea, which gets inside of the oyster and causes it to form a pearl. The world kept kneading us with the elements of hatred and racism. Every time Nubians would try to accomplish something, the Canaanite Caucasian beast man would crush it. He crushed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos, Messenger Noble Ali, Messenger Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Sheikh Dawood Ahmed Faisal, Malcolm X, and Clarence 13X. But he will not crush us. We have already struck a blow at some of the beast's false doctrines, such as Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. People are now waking up and realizing all over the world that they have been lied to about who the Messiah Jesus was. The final empire in these last days will have a swift decline. Before it is all over, all false doctrines will fall, taking the beast and its empire from which it will never rise again. Are you listening, people? And on the beast, America's head, was the name blasphemy, such as God, Jah, Christ, Allah, etc. Names that were given to Eli, Anu, the Most High, by Christians, Pentecostals, Seventh-day Adventists, Sunni Muslims, Christian Scientists, and Jews. The Creator takes on different names in different countries. In France, it would be Dieu. Scotland and Ireland, it would be Dia. In Sweden, it would be Good. In Spain, it would be Dios. In Nigeria, it would be Shango. In India, it would be Brahma or Paramatma. Or in Egypt, it would be Amun-Ra. In Babylon, it would be Baal. In China, it would be Buddha. In Persia, it would be Mazda. In Greece, it would be Theos. In Saudi Arabia, it would be Allah. In Jerusalem, it would be Yahweh. In ancient Sumer, it would be Anu. And in satanic religion, it would be Satan. But the beast symbolizes many things, one of which is a multiple amount of nations and political structures with branches. Saudi Arabia has become a branch of the beast, as well as Britain, France, Italy, Greece, Germany, and Israel. The branch of the beast we are concerned with right now, however, is Saudi Arabia. The king of Saudi Arabia is King Fahd, who lost his right eye and now has a glass eye instead. The information being presented here was taken from the scroll 360 questions to ask the Orthodox Sunni Muslims. This scroll was published in 1990 AD. Do you understand? It is no coincidence that there are hadiths which speak of a Dajjal which would have one blind eye, which describes King Fahd, the present king of Saudi Arabia. This is one of those hadiths which states, when Dajjal appears, his complexion will be white and his right eye will be blind, while his left eye will shine like a bright star. Uncle. Dajjal has been described as charming, masterful, a charming, masterful politician, the darling of secret societies, chief of warlocks, Satan's man. The Dajjal is the concealer of the truth, a kafir. The Dajjal will cover the earth with the largeness of his members, Christian like Muslims. He will say things which are contrary to what is in his mind and will cover the real intentions with falsehood. This kingdom of Saudi Arabia under King Fahd has lived up to all these descriptions of the Dajjal and is spreading the fake Sunni Muslim religion. They are making Muslims into Christian-like Muslims by giving them a watered-down version of Islam based on Hadith and not Quran. They are making the holy city of Mecca an amusement park of luxuries and are guilty of the accidental deaths of thousands of pilgrims who are making Hajj. They are monopolizing the guardianship of the Kaaba by electing kings from their own bloodline. The Prophet Muhammad said, the brightness of the left eye stands for the love of life and luxury. The Saud family is the wealthiest family in Saudi Arabia. They have lived the life of rich and famous, the rich and the famous, and spent millions of dollars to upkeep their life of luxury. The oil money that they have rightfully belongs to the entire Muslim world. It is no coincidence that Alun allowed the Muslim world to inherit such a great wealth in the form of oil. The money from the oil is supposed to be used to propagate al-Islam build masjids, schools, and provide aid to Muslims everywhere. Yet this money is being hoarded by just a few families and is not being distributed. This is a hadith which states that the head of Shaitan will rise from Najd or the Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, where the Saud family resides. Hadith number 147, narrated by Ibn Umar. It says, the Prophet said, "O Allah, bless our Sham and our Yemen." The people said, "Our Najd as well." The Prophet said again, "O Allah, bless our Sham and Yemen." They said again, "Our Najd as well." On that, the Prophet said, "There will appear earthquakes and afflictions, and from there will come out the side of the head of Satan." Narrated by Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 2. Shaitan, who will arise out of Najd, is also referred to as the dragon in the Gospel of Revelation several times. El's Holy Injil 13:4 and 22. It is no coincidence that the weekly newspaper that is being printed in Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabian desert, by American soldiers stationed there, is called the Desert Dragon. This is prophecy unfolding itself. These are too many incidences to be a coincidence. The Saudi Arabian have taken it upon themselves to willfully give their soul over to the devil and in him in his evil ways, as I will show you in just a moment. This hadith said, the appearance of the Abatu al-Ard, land beast or beast, which will rise out of the earth in the temple of Mecca or on Mount Safa. This beast will be 60 cubit high and will be a compound of several species, having the head of a bull, the eyes of a hog, the ears of an elephant, the horns of a stag, the neck of an ostrich, the breast of a camel, and the voice of an ass. She will appear 3 times in several places, and will bring with her the rod of Moses and the seal of Solomon, being so swift that none can overtake her. She will kill with the first strike all the believers on the face and mark them with the word mu'min, which means believer, and with the latter will mark the covers of truth, that every person may know for what he really is. The same beast is to demonstrate the vanity of all religions except Islam and to speak Arabic. This is found in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 5. What does the Abatu al-Ard as used in this hadith means? Excuse me. Before I answer the question, let me first say that the writers of this hadith have deliberately altered the words of Allah. They say the Abatu al-Ard and translate it as beast of the earth, when the correct way to say this phrase according to Quran 2782 is the Abatu min al-Ard, which means the beast that came out from the earth. They purposely left out the word min from the phrase. Why? Because they maliciously lie. The Abatu min al-Ard is the military structure of the beast. As the hadith said, one that will rise out of the earth. The Ta'abatu min al-ard are tanks from the earth spoken of in this hadith that will rise up in Mecca. It is the military weaponry that America and other countries sold to Saudi Arabia. And the reason why they say from the earth is because the tanks will actually come from the earth, from underneath its surface. Right now in Saudi Arabia, there's a whole armory full of military tanks and weapons stored underneath the sands of the desert, prepared for war at any given time. This was broadcasted on national television in the show called 60 Minutes, which aired in March 1990. The tanks, which are underneath the desert sands of Saudi Arabia, will rise min al-ard, from the earth, as is foretold in this hadith. Saudi Arabia, the capital of the Islamic world, has become a part of the beast. This beast will be 60 cubits high and will be a compound of various species. When they use the number 60, they are referring to El's Holy Injil, the Gospel of Revelation, where it speaks of 6, 60, and 6, or 666, the number of the beast. The Dajjal, El's Holy Injil 13, 17 through 18 states, so that no one would be able to buy or sell anything without credit cards. The world of the Antichrist and his associates will be in a cashless society where every financial transaction will be computerized and executed at business centers and supermarkets without the use of cash, except for those that have the stamp or the name of the living beast or the computer number 666 of his name. Everyone's number will be linked into one computer called the beast. This computer will have control over all the trade in the world and control the lives of the average citizen. It is linked through an intricate network of computers all throughout the world. This massive, gigantic self-programming computer with more than 100 sensing input sources is based in 3 places: Belgium, Holland, and Virginia, USA. The various species they are talking about are the references that are made in El's Holy Injil chapter 13, where they describe the beast as a leopard, a bear, a lion, a dragon, all of which describe another part of the devil's power. The bear is symbolic of 2 men who hold very high positions in the United States government. The first was the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, 1858 to 1980, the Lion of Israel, known as Teddy Roosevelt. The second is the 4-star general named Norman Schwarzkopf, the commander-in-chief of the American military forces which are stationed in Saudi Arabia. General Schwarzkopf is affectionately called the Bear by his colleagues. This is done just to let you know, this is done just to let you know all the nations and people are going to be involved in this master beast. She will appear 3 times in several places. The beast will manifest in 3 forms: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. These are the 3 faces she will pop up in. She is not going to pop up in Buddhism. She's not going to pop up in Sikhism. She's not going to pop up in Hinduism. she is going to pop up amongst the people of the book, Ahlu el-Kitab. And those people of the book are the Jews from Israel, the Christians from America and Britain, and the Muslims from Arabia. The strongest point being Christianity. Each of these countries has its own Da'abatu min al-Ard, military structure of the beast. Both Israel and Arabia got their military power from America. In the Quran 2782, when dealing with Da'abatu min al-Ard, it says that the people were neglectful of our signs. Else Holy Quran 2782, which states, and when the saying came to pass upon them, we brought forth for them the Abatu min al-Ard, beast from the planet Earth, that will speak to them, that the Nas, Inosites, they were not faithful with our signs. They will not be successful. And will bring with her the rod of Moses. What does this mean? First, let me ask you, what kind of rod did the prophet Moses bring? The prophet Moses' rod was changed into a serpent in front of the Pharaoh's people. Holy Quran 7:107. And with that rod came pestilence, plagues, disease, and death. Holy Quran 7:113. When it says in this hadith that she comes with the rod of Moses, it means that she will bring the symbol of Satan, Satanism. You watch with your own eyes. Muslims change into a snake for the seed of Canaan. What do I mean by this? Look at how the Arabs fighting against the Muslims for Christians. Like Egypt and Saudi Arabia against Iraq, Libya, and Palestine. Right now, the world is being flooded with all kinds of groups that worship Satan. You see it now more than ever before, and with this will come death, plagues, and famine. Isn't that what we hear about all the time out of Israel, America, and Arabia? War, death, and hunger. And will bring the seal of Solomon. Speaking, don't get the seal of Solomon mixed up with the star or shield of David, given to him for protection. Each point of the Star of David, the six-pointed star, is representative of six major prophets: Adam, Noah, Abraham, Ishmael, Moses, Jesus, and the seal of Solomon is a five-pointed star with a snake in its mouth, which is really a serpent as a crescent, used to command and control the jinn, the elements of nature. If you take the snake's tail out of its mouth, you have a five-pointed star and a crescent. That is their symbol. The Orthodox Sunni Muslims use the five-pointed star and crescent as one of their symbols. The question is, why would so-called Muslim countries use the five-pointed star that is internationally used as a symbol of Satan? Now go look at the satanic five-pointed star and symbol of the Islamic Chamber of Commerce of New York, which is a part of Darul Ifta of the Wahhabi sect of Saudi Arabia. It is not surprising that countries that practice little or no Islam bear the symbol of the pentagram, the symbol of the devil, being so swift that none can overtake her or escape her. This is referring once again to the number of the beast 666. The reason why they are referring to the beast as her is because they are talking about the harlot of Babylon. Refer to Revelation chapters 17, 18, chapter 18, 4 and 5, chapter 18, 7 and 9. Being so swift that no one can overtake her means that anybody who does not have the mark of the beast 666 will be unable to buy and sell. Therewith they will die. She will kill with the first strike and all the believers on the face and mark them with the word Mu'min, the believer. As Holy Angel Revelation speaks of two different marks. The mark of the righteous, Revelation 7:3, Revelation 14:1, and Revelation 22:3 and 4. And the mark of the beast, Revelation 13, 17 and 18. The mark spoken of here is the mark of the righteous, caused by consequence of prostration during prayer. And with the latter will mark the covers of truth, that every person may be known for what he is. The mark of the cover of truth is the letter Kaf, which stands for Kafir. And the time has come for you to know the truth about the Kafirs, the covers of truth in Saudi Arabia. And this council that the Wahhabi sect has formed there, called Darul Ifta, the religious branch of their Marxist government, that sees to it that all Nubian religious leaders are eliminated. Are you listening, people? Darul Ifta is the federation coming out of Arabia to aid the Abatu min al-Or, the beast. As Holy Quran 997, Al-Arab, the desert Arabs, the red Arabs, are the most ashadu, forceful, severe, kufran, concealers of that which is the facts, and the biggest nifaqan, hypocrites, and more without the knowledge of the hudud, limits of what was sent by the source Allah upon his Rasul